The Electoral Commission has redefined what overvoting should mean for the upcoming elections, indicating that the total number of registered voters would not be part of the equation for calculating overvoting. This means that if the total number of votes in the ballot box plus the spoiled ballot is more than the total number of verified voters, then there is overvoting. The earlier definition when Dr. Farijan was EC chair was that if the total number of votes cast plus spoiled ballot was more than the total number of registered voters, then there is overvoting. The main difference is that the old definition was using the total number of voters on the register, and the new definition is using only the total number of verified voters. Addressing editors of some media houses in Accra, the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Madam Charlotte Osei, said that, quote, the number of persons on the register is no longer tied to the definition of overvoting. And that and many more reforms were announced by the chair of the Electoral Commission when she addressed the media on some of the reforms they intend to implement. And let's go to the phone lines now and seek the thoughts of Mr. Albert Ahin. He's the National Coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Hello, Mr. Ahin. Fortunately, we seem to have lost Mr. Ahin on the line, but he is with CODEO, and we wanted to pick his thoughts on what the Electoral Commission new definition is with regard to overvoting and all the 27 reforms that the EC intends to implement or has begun implementing. And one of them is that now when you go to the booth, the voting booth, they are going to be somewhat transparent. Okay, I'm told that we've been joined by Mr. Ahin. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Ahin.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. To start with, what are your initial thoughts on these recommendations the EC has outlined? One of it is that their definition of overvoting has changed based on the premise of the 2012 election petition. And then also they are saying that they're going to be employing the likes of the Ghana Bar Association and then also some statisticians to help in this year's elections. What are your thoughts on this?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your listeners. What I'll say for starters is that I think it's a welcome news that these reforms are being taken on board. I hear there are about 27 of them.
Yes.
To talk about the this vote thing that you're talking about, overvoting. I'm happy that the real definition of overvoting is being applied at the moment. I'm being told that the EC wants to use those who are verified and have put their ballot paper into the box.
Yes.
And then again, they are not going to use the number or the numbers in the register.
Yes.
I'm only praying that with this verification thing, they will also add those who are those who have been manually verified. So that at the end of the day, you have the manually verified as well as those who have been verified by the machine to go together.
Okay.
At the end of the day, when these two categories have voted, their votes should tally with the numbers that have been ticked in the register.
Right.
If at the end of the day the number is beyond or the ballots in the box are more than the one that have been ticked or verified, then of course the overvoting thing comes in.
Yes.
So I think it's a good principle, and I believe we should all back it so that it works.
But how do you think this particular issue can be resolved? Because I know a few people who have not gone to verify when the verification exercise was ongoing, but are sure that their names are in the register. Now, when they go and they do get to vote, but their names have not been verified, do you see any gray area there, and how can that be resolved?
Yeah, I think the EC is bringing an antidote. They are saying that it is a machine, the machine can fail. So if you go there and then the machine fails to verify you, they are going to resort to what they call manual verification. And that is why I said that for those who are going to be manually verified, that one should also be added to the one that will be machine verified. Okay. So at the end of the day, you have all these ticks in the register to be able to determine whether there's overvoting or undervoting or whatever. Okay. So the ECR here is going to put in place a machinery. So we don't have no verification, no voting coming again. It's not going to happen, according to the EC, because the reform committee recommended it and the EC rejected it. So that is about it.
Good. Also on the issue of the reforms, one other issue they raised has to do with the recruitment of the services of accountants and then also the members of the Ghana Bar Association, lawyers for that matter. How different would their role be or their service be compared to other persons who were used in previous elections?
Okay. Definitely it's going to be an enhancement of the process. And mind you, they are saying that they're going to use them at the collation centers.
Yes.
Those that are going to be the poll staff are the ones that are going to be recruited to man the various polling stations. And even there, the EC is saying that they are going to raise the standards. They're going to make sure people who are recruited are of a high standard. These are all measures that I believe will go to improve the efficiency of the polling station, efficiency of the collation center, and again, to bring some confidence. Okay. And raise the morale of people. And then, of course, the EC itself will be confident enough to say that, yes, then we are now doing the good job. But let me caution here that the fact that somebody is an accountant or a lawyer does not necessarily mean that he's going to be a very good person at the collation center.
Right.
Definitely, they will have to be trained, and they will also have to perform to standards. Okay. But, of course, we're going to have professionalism here so that the additions, the subtractions, or whatever, will be up to date.
Right.
Let me also say that in getting these people, we have to make sure they are vetted. If we are going to have lawyers, statisticians, or whatever,
okay,
then there should be an application to vet them so that you don't put people who have party colors, party affiliations to get to these areas so that it will mar the beauty of the process. Okay. So I believe EC wants to go the Nigerian way, getting qualified people, getting people who really know what to do at these centers. And I think it augurs well for democracy in this country.
We are grateful for your time, Mr. Albert Ahin, for helping us put some clarity to the issues raised by the EC, the reforms introduced by the EC. Thank you very much for speaking with us. He is the National Coordinator of the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO.